There are those of us who like to venture to the unexplored, to see the beauty in the strange and unknown. Those of us who go out there with a sense of wonder.
Good morning, my guys. Well, it's another beautiful morning, however, day evening on. Yo, it is raining cats and dogs. It's gonna be a very interesting day. Well, having started working in the morning, I've not eaten anything since, and right now I'm in Kibera. You can see I'm in Kibera, around Ayani area, that is in Kibera. So I got to this place and I felt a bit hungry. As you can tell, since morning I have not touched any food since I left the house.
A few moments later.
At the moment, I got a request that took me out of the city center. This is towards Athi River. So basically, I'm like almost in Machakos County. This is the outcast of Nairobi County. This is a corporate ride that I got. It's not a bad ride per se, to be honest. I love corporate rides though. These corporate rides usually make me get to visit a lot of places that I've not visited before. For example, these industrial areas. They're quite exciting. They're really quite exciting if you think about it, because you get to learn a lot of things that you don't usually learn about. You get to see industries. For example, those ones are there at the other side. The industrial area is just quite full of here, but most of the industrial area is not here. It's just inside Nairobi County. The place I am today, this is just a logistic company, I believe so. Waiting for my clients. They went in for some time. They will be soon, as you can see. The parking lot, we're only like 3 cars at this area right here. And I'm just having my good time, relaxing as I wait for the client, because we've moved a lot today, which I appreciate, because does good job today, which means my productivity has increased. I got to this place and I started thinking of my friends that we lived with back in the ghetto, right in a place known as Bahati area. I remember some of my friends. I started thinking where they are right now, and I feel like I really had great connections with them. These are one of the friends that I've not had for a very long time. The type of friendship I had with these guys really stuck with me, and the type of friendship that I really had to get. I'm not sure if it's growth or it's just time that is making people change, but I believe life does. And the funny thing about my friends, the one I know, they're actually 2 really good friends that we've kept in touch for a very long time. I think those are the only people I can say that I've seen for a very long time. Plus a very one recent friend. And we used to be these friends that we used to be just troublemakers. Most of the time you'll not find us in the home, you'll not find us in the estates. You'll find us mostly around a place playing PlayStations, riding bikes for those who had a bike. And one of my friends, his name is Gedeiga Anthony. He was the first guy who was given a car. And you can imagine the excitement we used to have at that time. The excitement was crazy. So he's the only guy who had a driving license amongst all of us. And I actually learned to drive from his car, actually to just know how to learn way better than what I used to. But I used to go to Isili to drive, actually. I used to go to Isili to drive. I used to go pay 50 bob. Then those days, there were no Ubers those days. There were just taxis. You'll find those taxis standing by the side of the road. They used to have stick shifts. They used to have those stick shifts. For those gears that were used to placed somewhere around here. If you guys remember Toyota cars. No, not Toyota, it was just Peugeot. Those old Peugeot 504s and those, they used to have these stick shifts. That was the first car that I learned to drive in. And those days, Isili used to have very bad roads, and it was still as packed as it is today. We used to go there, drive, and come back out. It was quite exciting, even though it used to be like 2 laps of around 500 meters, going and coming back, and we'll pay 50 bob. At times we'll give 100, depending on the type of car that you get. Then my guy was given was it a premium, if I remember correctly? I think it was a premium. You can imagine the excitement we had. All of us, we had that excitement whereby at least we had a car that we could step on and drive a bit. And remember, we're all in the ghetto. We're all in Bahati area. And there's another friend of mine his name still is Kevin Thiongo. He's one of the good DJs I know so far. He operates, his work is really nice. You guys should go check him out. He's in Weston Hotel. A very fantastic DJ. Actually, I remember when that guy started his journey. He started his journey when we were in the ghetto. He used to use this virtual DJ. He was always spin, and I could hear him because around that place we were like only 2 people that used to have a big sound system. And I could hear him play his music from morning to evening using virtual DJ. Nothing much but virtual DJ. This guy became good in virtual DJ that I actually thought that he was going to leave it when he finished school, because he was my friends were actually very bright, man. Of all my friends, man, I was the one who was not that bright. My friends were all A materials. Both of my friends were A materials, man. I'm the only one who came out with a C. But I cannot say it was bad, man. I tried my best, man. The only things, I was never good in maths and chemistry. Those are the things that made me fail big time. So looking back, I see that we came from a very long way. Actually, most of my friends are really doing good right now. I can say I was a really good company. The company I was in really built me. They made me see life in a very different way. As you can imagine, I'm one person that I spent most of my childhood out of the city, away from the city. For example, those days we used to go through 844 system. The 844 system when I was from class 1 to class 8. So when I was in class 7, when I was in class 6, that's when we came back to Nairobi, when my mom was transferred back to Nairobi, because she first was in Nairobi, then transferred to Kisii, then came back here to Nairobi. So when we come back to Nairobi, that's when I met Anthony and Kevin Thiongo. Our friendship was actually our friendship, I think our friendship was started because of PlayStation and bikes. We had the love of bikes and technology. It was very difficult of us to find of people to find us just loitering around, but technology made us really tight. And we had one common thing: we loved music. We really liked music. Whatever you will have found Kevin, you will have seen me. Whenever you will have seen Gedeiga, I was there. Until when we got to high school, then slowly we started to outgrow each other, because we'll spend a lot of time away from each other. We made new friends. We had different tastes of whatever we did, but still the friendship was still tight. Then I left for Poland. No, I first left for Russia. Still kept in touch. Went to Russia. Things were was not easy. Lost my phone. Lost a lot of contacts. By then, most of the people thought that I was actually blue ticking them. But little did they know, if they tried to call my number was never going through. I didn't have a phone back then. My phone was already spoiled, man. So I got to Russia, got another tiny phone to be using. Those tiny phones that used to have one screen. If you guys remember Siemens, those tiny phones, they used to have those tiny screens, those phones. That if you wanted to read a message, you had to wait for it to move that way for you to finish reading the whole message. That's the type of phone I used to have. So when I came back from Poland, we met again very briefly. And when I came back, one of my friends was married. Of course, the DJ. He's one of the guys that we thought was never going to marry, but he did. He has such a great soul, though. He has such a great soul. We don't always meet, but whenever we meet, it's like, feels like he never left. It's like all of us are still there. It comes to remind me about something in life. I mean, life is a place where we're just going to pass through. It feels like a season. It's like a chapter that I opened my eyes yesterday, and right now I'm here. I was just a kid yesterday, and right now I've gotten to this stage. We all have both different experiences. Both of us have grown differently. I'm not saying those were the only friends I had. I had other friends, but I outgrew most of the friends that I used to have, or most of them outgrew me. What I mean by outgrowing is that at times it gets to a place whereby there's some certain friendships that you don't feel like they sync with you at all. There's some certain friendships that you outgrow, some certain friendships you feel like they're not for you. But there's some friendships that even if you don't meet, but the friendship is still there. The real, we look after each other, we call each other, we have to look at each other, and we feel like, okay, I still had some people I could call friends back then, and I still think I can still call them friends. So I think experiences that has made us grow is not that it has made us grow apart. It's only that it has made us choose to go for responsibility first. And then when responsibility is catered for, then we can go back into our friendship. We meet a lot though. At times I wish that it would be like back then, whereby you just go sit with your friend, talk about your problems. Remember, all of us were in the ghetto. We'll meet, talk about our dreams. I remember those days when we used to talk about our dreams. I could see my dream in my eyes. I mean, I could visually see what I wanted. Every time we used to talk about life expectations and all that, I could literally see where I wanted to go to. And then it got to a time whereby my life started changing like a movie. So did theirs, and so did experiences change us. I know most of you right now are wondering where I'm going with this story. Where I'm going with this story is that my friend just called me, and that triggered something in me. It made me realize that most of the time we spend a lot of time complaining of what we don't have in life and what we have in life, instead of experiencing life as it comes, not forcing life, not trying to adjust it as the manner is not supposed to. But the fact that we have to accept what life brings along our way. This shows me that We all have limited time. We all have limited time. We have limited time. And how you use it actually really matters. I've talked a lot about when I was sick. When I was sleeping in my bed, I used to call it my deathbed. While I was sleeping in that bed, a lot was going through my mind. I questioned a lot of stuff. I went to that bed a very scared guy. So scared to die. I was so scared to depart. I was so scared of the word death, because when I was sleeping in that bed, people used to die around me. I remember the first day I went to that hospital when I was told I have to be admitted because my condition was not that good. The first day I was placed in the ward, I found a guy next to me. I think his name was Tadeusz, if I'm not wrong. If it's not Tadeusz, it's Mateusz. The guy was sleeping on the right side of the bed. I was placed next to the door. And when that guy was brought into the guy, he was a Polish guy. The first thing, this guy came in and he saw that he's sleeping next to a black guy, a sick black guy. I could see his eyes brighten up. I could not understand why his eyes was brightening up. He sat on his bed, even though he was brought on a wheelchair, and he looked so tired. When he saw me, the moment he slept on the bed and looked on the right side next to the door, and he saw it was a black guy that was also hospitalized, I could see his face brighten. He struggled to smile, and he struggled to sit up. I also struggled to sit up because I could see the excitement that he had. Both of us were afraid. We were all afraid. I was afraid to die, and I'm sure at that moment he was also very afraid to die. Well, Tadeusz, if it's Tadeusz or Mateusz, let me call him Mateusz. Mateusz woke up, stretched his hand. He was a very old guy. He was a very old guy. He was around. He looked like he was around his I think 70s, if I'm not wrong. Or he might have been younger, but the disease that he had might have made him look older. Because the ward in which I was in, it was for those people who are really sick, like very crucial sick, people never knew if they were going to make it in life or to just come back to life. When Tadeusz stretched his hand, I left my bed with the IV thing still on my hand, and I was pushing the IV, those IV stuff, the water, the drips. I was pushing it on that tiny stool that they usually give you, put it on. I went to him. He shook my hand. When I wanted to turn and go back to my bed, he held my hand tightly, and he said something that stuck with me since I went to that hospital and since I met a white guy. That guy said something that actually shook me a bit and opened my eyes. He's one of the guys that made my life change. It made me see life in a very different perspective. Mateusz said, "Can you imagine this is the first time I am actually shaking hands of a black guy?" And I thought it was going to be different. I thought I was going to feel as if I'm disgusted, but surprisingly, there's no disgust at all. He went ahead and said, "May you please be the person that I can ask for forgiveness for the rest of the black people. Let me use you to ask for forgiveness for the rest of the black people that I've met and I've talked bad about, I have mistreated." And remember, I am the first black guy he said that he had even touched the hand. He said, may I use you as the channel to ask for forgiveness for the rest of the black guys. And that touched me. And I was a bit tired, so I sat. It was on the stools that visitors come sit on, and the nurse comes and he finds us chatting. And the nurse asked, "Why are you guys sitting up? You guys should be resting." The old guy said, "You guys already know in the room that you guys have placed us, the word that you guys have placed us, you know that we might make it or we might not make it. This is the only chance we have that we can actually talk. This is the only chance we have that we can discuss on things that we've never discussed before. Basically just as foreigners, people of different skins." The term he used, species, I think he meant just the skin color and the race. And he told the nurse, "Please allow us to enjoy the last moments we had. Please allow us to enjoy the last minute that we have. We don't know who might go first. The young man might go first, I might go first." And he released my hand and he told me that in case he goes or he dies before me, I should know that life has no future. There's nothing like future. That's what he said. It's only now. He said, tomorrow.
2,000 years later.
Yo, it's a long time. It's time to bring this car to endelea tu. Just brought it to be cleaned up. This thing is still broken, man. Just a hit and run, and still this thing looks ugly. I don't know where to get a place where I can repair this. But so far it doesn't look that bad. The car today is just totally dirty, as you can see. We've had a long day, a long time. Well, the car wash is along Ngong Road, not Ngong Road actually, it's along Manyanja Road if I'm not wrong. Along Manyanja Road in Umoja. And I just have to wait as the washing continues. This is the place I usually can come to wash. It's not that expensive. I can either sit there, right there, and wait for it to be washed. It's a good place to wash a car. And since she has served me well today, she deserves a bath, a really good bath. As I sit here, relax, and actually I feel like taking some drinks as well. I always like taking drinks. Actually, I feel tired. I feel, if you can see, my eyes looks a bit tired today. I don't know why. I had really good sleep yesterday, but I still feel tired. The other side is Donholm. The other side is Donholm.